Hello everybody, Spirit Gaming here, and today I'd like to make a video about the skill rotations and skills and talents for the Blade Master class. I see this is a very requested question and not very answered at the same time. So I would like to give you my opinion about what's good, what's better than the rest. And yeah, I think I will jump right into it. So first of all, we have two sets of skills. One is for PvE and one is for PvP. The one for PvE and the one for PvP is probably always going to be the same, meaning that right here, this is the PvE PvE skill setup. What you're gonna change between the PvE and the PvP setup is just this skill right here, Moon Gazer, this skill Lenswide, and this one right here, or the Red Lotus or the Thunder, or whatever. So for the PvE skill skills, this is what I would recommend. You should always run this, no matter what dungeon you're in or no matter where you are. This is gonna be the best for PvE. Now, for the PvP, this is gonna be way better. Let's see, Flash, this one right here, Moon Shatter, and either one of these. Most of the times I go with the Thunder for PvP. And Aftershock for PvP. So here are the PvP skills. How this works is, you basically in PvP you want to have the most dashes as possible to catch up to ranged classes like gunslingers, soul dancers, and even assassins. That's why this skill right here lets us pull to get close to ranged class and stun them for a bit, while it unlocks counter wave, meaning that if they don't have super armor, you can just throw them back and stun them even for longer and hit them a lot more. This thunder gives the enemy delay. And another thing, we want Moon Shatter, because if a ranged class hits you, you can just dash to them and knock them down. And Aftershock is better because these skills, the top 3 skills, don't really matter as much, but for PvP I do suggest Aftershock because it has if the target stays in this Aftershock for 2 seconds, it will inflict quite a nice amount of damage, whilst the Fighting Spirit one, they can easily get out of it and you won't really get the damage buff. So yeah, that's pretty much everything about the skills, and the more important part is the talents. So before I started this video, I went on a testing spree about Pve Talents, and this is what I came up with. So for PvE, you are either a tank, you're using Odachi form, Middle form, or both forms. So right now, this is the Odachi form, which is the big one, the big sword form, which is right here. You turn this on like this. You can charge the attack as well, if you guys didn't know. And I did a bunch of testing about this. This is the talent you want to run for the Odachi form in PvE, unless this is especially better for clearing out mobs and dailies. It gives a lot of damage and a bit of super armor, but most of the time there are two playstyles. It's either Middle form or Odachi form, especially after we get around level 90. One form is gonna be better than the other. unless you have enough points to upgrade both of them at the same time, which might happen eventually. But as I said, I did test out a bunch of things, and let me tell you, I used on the same boss in the Dragon Hunt. I went in there a bunch of times. On the same boss I used only Odachi form, once only Mito form, and both forms at the same time, meaning that if I ran out of skills on Mito form, I just switched to Odachi form and use all of the skills. And every single one of them had the exact same clear time on the boss. I was attacking the same boss, and every single one form of these two and combined had the same clear speed. So it's basically personal preference. For me, I always run the middle form. I don't know why, but I'm just very fast in it. I like attacking fast. I like the deep talent right here, which I talk about as well. Even in the deep talents, it's basically split between three forms: tank, Odachi, and Mito form. I will show you, as I said. But basically, there is no big difference in damage from one to the other if you are just attacking without dodging and running back for PvE, which is most PvE. Most of the time that happens in PvE, unless it's dungeon that has very hard bosses and things like that, which I really can't talk about because it depends on the dungeon itself, and you just have to figure out or follow some guides on dungeons, like I did on the bronze dungeon. You saw there if you watched it. I changed my talents a bunch of times, but mainly for dailies, these are the two builds you want to run. So let's first talk about the deep talents in Mito form. So in Mito form, you really want this Weapon Fury deep talent and Fine Weakness talent. After that, I really don't recommend you, even if you have a bunch more talent points, to go with this one. I would either recommend going with War Scar or Heavy Blow into Fire Essence, depends on how much deep talent points you have. But this basically means that Weapon Fury in Mito form, every single normal attack meaning this right here, decreases the cooldown of this skill right here by 0.5 seconds. That means that if you attack a bunch of times, it's basically off cooldown, and it's always the same with Sakura Slay, and you can use them both at the same time, always. That's one of the better deep talents, in my opinion, especially for PvE. Now I would like to talk about the talent as well, considering this combination, and this is the Blossom Slash, New Life, and Cherry Blossom Snow combination. These three are the middle form talents. Basically what Blossom Slash does is you can inflict Cherry Blossom 5 times on a target, which basically means that you will expose Cherry Blossom at the same time 5 times. Then New Life, each time you have Cherry Blossom on someone and you use the Sakura Slay ability, that ability has very short cooldown, meaning that if you attack a lot, auto attack a lot, this skill will be on a really short cooldown, as well as Sakura Slay, which is basically the combo. I will show you after. I will go in the Dragon Hunt. And Cherry Blossom Snow, this ability I tested it out and it doesn't work like it's supposed to. So each detonated Cherry Blossom increases Infernal Beauty's damage by 50%, stacks up to 3 times, and it only increases it once. I did some testing, and this skill, does make a very big difference, and it's still the best for the PvE side for Mito form. but it doesn't increase it as much. As it says, it does increase it by around 15%, but only once. It doesn't stack up to 3 times. I tried everything, I tried a lot, but it just doesn't increase. But still, because you use it very much, you will get a lot of use from this ability. And then Izanaami's Dance. Most of the time I don't even run this because the S level talents are not the best for middle form, except this one, Dragon Ward's Raid. I really like it, but you basically have to get a bit lower on HP, and that's only gonna happen in hard dungeons and not in dailies. So you can choose either one of these. It doesn't make much difference. So that's about the Pve talent for the Blade Master on Mito form. And now let's switch to Adachi form, which is the big sword form. This is the best damage how do I call it, talent build. Everything increases damage. This one gives Berserk, which does increase your damage again. This one increases your damage by 5%, and this by 10%. And I was really hoping that this would actually be better in damage, but it turns out for me it's the same. I did test it. Again, I will say I did test it, and it was the same for me. For my damage, for my cooldown reduction in AP. So that's about it. Oh, I want to talk about something else. So when I started playing as a Blade Master, this was my first class actually, I figured out that you can actually, charge up the attack. And I never knew if attacking continuously is gonna be better, or charging it up and hitting someone twice with a charge attack is gonna be better and do better damage. So I decided to test that out, and it turns out that this right here deals around double the damage, and this one deals less than double damage. So if you're going in dungeon hunting or Dragon Slayer and you're using the Adachi form, I really recommend using the charged attack. Maybe I will put on the screen the differences, but it basically increases it. Your damage is increased around 15% for each attack, but that's only the one charged attack, and if it's for 2 right here, as you can see, it does it really fast. So the way I tested it is you can charge the attack for 2.5 seconds and basically attack half a second, that is 3 seconds, and then I tested hitting for 3 seconds with this one right here, and basically the test for 3 seconds DPS, this one had around double the damage. So as I said, I suggest you to use this instead of attacking nothing. You won't do much damage at all. That's about it. Now I would like to show you the talents that I use for PvP and skills for PvP as well. I always use these talents. So here we are, right here. This one and this one. This is my personal page. I always use this. Then we will go with Blossom Slash. By the way, this is useless for PvP. You just deal 40% less damage, and nothing else happens against players. Wind and Moon is a must to me. Cherry Blossom Snow, very good, gives you 15% more damage. And then I use Dragon Ward's Raid. This one, as I said, depending on what your playstyle is, you can use either one of these. I don't really recommend Moonshackle because you don't use it, you don't use this ability, so it's basically gonna be useless. And yeah, this right here is my main PvP page. I always use this for PvP. My personal opinion is that it is the best. I can't really test it because, I mean, well, I can't always go against the same targets, and the tests won't be really fair. And yeah, that's about it for the talents. In deep talents, I use the Mythoform talent tree, deep talent tree. So yeah, that's basically about it. And now I'm just gonna go in and show you the skill rotation in, let's go to dragon hunting, and let me just prepare first, excuse me, sorry for the wait. Right here, for talents I use this and this. These ones are nice, okay. So first I will use the Mythoform abilities. Let's go. Excuse me again. Alright, so where is the first boss? Excuse me, I don't know what this is, but basically what you wanna do is auto attack as much as you can and use your abilities whenever you can. Always save up the dance ability, this one right here, the bottom one, when you have it, when the yellow circle is around it, because you will activate Infernal Beauty. Let's go. This is what I use mostly. I know it can get really boring and repetitive, but it is what it is, I guess. But as you can see, my both of my skills are basically up at the same time if I just hit it a lot, hit auto attack a bunch of times. Now let's see with the other form. Let's go Adachi form. Yeah, let's go right here. So I won't use Berserk, I mean Void. I will just show you. You always want to use Berserk at first, and this is what I meant. So I do a lot of damage. If you can time the attack rate, which I didn't right there, but it's gonna do even more damage. And yeah, this is basically what you wanna do in PvE. As I said, I did test out the times and DPS and everything like that. Oh my god, I was hitting that, I promise I was hitting that still when I tested it, and don't worry about that. I know I just can't hit it right now, I'm distracted, I'm talking at the same time, that's probably why. And that's pretty much it about the PvE skill rotations, very easy and simple to do. Let's leave from here. And now I will tell you what you want to do in PvP. So as I said, the PvP skills are this one right here. I won't change into Thunder, I don't think I need to do anything. So what you're gonna do is, most of the time you should start with this ability right here. It's gonna pull you to them, and you're gonna want to use Berserk and attack them with this ability right here. And after that, just throw them back, they are gonna get stunned again, and then you're gonna want to use your Adachi form, hit them, knock them back, or depending on how long they're knocked down, either use this skill right here, which if they hit you, you go to them. I can show you right here. You will go to them and knock them down, and after that you're gonna want to use this ability right here, then this to stun them in even longer, and this ability again. So that's basically the skill rotation. Yeah, today I think is the training arena event is tomorrow, so I probably wait till then to make a video on PvP. And yeah guys, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I know this video is a bit longer, but I wanted to explain as much as I can. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and if you enjoyed my content, please leave a like and subscribe. So bye bye.